Welcome, everyone. This is Toni Weel from Florida. I always started kind of with the weather report here. Feels kind of odd not to say beautiful Florida because it is sunny, and for the next 2 weeks, we have no rain and nice temperature. So we can be outside and not feel like we're in a sauna because it's nice out here. We have with us Gary. He is in Colorado, I think.
Yes.
And it looks, when I look at you, it seems wearing long sleeves, it gets cooler there. And then we have
Yes.
Sarah with us from Ohio. It's probably cold there.
Oh, yes. I'm wearing, I think we're a high of 50 today. So,
All right.
and we had frost last night and everything. So, yeah, it's cold.
It already sounds cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did learn something about this too, because like I've taken my whole journey much deeper, and like a lot of people that run warm and hot all the time, that's called like a dirty furnace. Like, you're burning hot. But then once you get all clean and everything, there's a time that you go through where you are very cold, but then eventually your furnace is burning clean and it will be burning efficiently. And it was described to me as like you're going from a gas engine to an electric engine where the gas is kind of dirty and stuff, and then the electric engine is clean, efficient, fast, instant power. And so I have noticed that, like, I was very cold a few weeks ago, and now as it's getting colder, I'm not as cold. And so I'm noticing that my body might be burning more efficient and whatnot, because everybody talks about, oh, I'm freezing, I'm on fruit. Well, it is changing for sure for me. And I'll definitely give you updates as I move through the winter because I'm outside a lot, so I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah, we keep changing and adjusting. But I
Mhm.
like what you said, that the more cleaner you get, the
Mhm.
the body easily adjusts.
Yes. Yep. I'm only wearing like a t-shirt and a flannel today, whereas before I had leggings on, jeans on, I had my wool socks on, I had gloves, a hat, everything. And so stuff is changing for sure. I'm not as cold. And it definitely got colder than what it was. So it's not like I just all of a sudden got used to the cold.
Mm.
I tell you the truth, even in past years, I don't think I ever got used to the cold until probably at least mid-December, maybe even into January. So we'll see how this year goes. But another report I'll give you real quick. I still, since I just even went on all orange juice, I still have not had my winter eczema return on my hands. And
Oh,
I would
good.
get it every single year, and it hurts. It bleeds and hurts. So I think I'm on 3 years without it
Yeah, I remember
now.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's
Well,
my report.
yeah, you're definitely cleaning up your body, and we talk a lot about it. And I know for you, you take it day by day and just observe what is going on. And we really
Yeah.
have to be clear that all this detoxing and healing, it's just a journey. It's not like, okay, by then and then I am completely healed. Well, maybe we always say about, your body listens to what you're saying. Maybe if we tell our body you're healed in 3 months, would it do it? What do you think, Gary?
I don't really
I'm
know what to think there.
not against. I mean,
Oh, you're
whole
breaking up, Sarah.
process of hurting.
You were breaking up. Can you repeat that?
Did we lose her?
Yeah, we lost her. She will be back. I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay. So,
And last night I was thinking about when we talk about the body or your voice is like a frequency, and what are thoughts? I mean, are thoughts as powerful as your voice speaking out your thoughts?
yeah, because it's a thought first.
Yeah.
It's a chemical reaction, then a thought, and then we can speak it. Unless it scares us too much and we're not able to speak it, because the body controls our story. The body controls our story.
When I first started with, well, it's a long time ago, with more than 20 years, and I was following these, the advice about your thoughts and your mantras, and I was like, should I do it in English or should I do it in Dutch? Because, I come from a Dutch-speaking country. That was my my language.
Mm-hmm.
And I did at first I didn't even realize it doesn't matter, because the thought is in the same if it is in English or in Dutch.
True, but one group may be able to understand you, and another one, like
If you
myself, would
speak it
not be
out,
able to.
yeah, if you speak it out, but this was just for myself, yeah. Affirmations, those kind of things.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hey, that's all right.
Yep.
It
I don't
happens.
know what you guys talked about before, but I definitely don't think that 3 months is enough time for healing. I mean, at 3 months, you're still in the process of sometimes your hair loss. And I mean, I'm 5 months in, like 4.5, 5 months in, and I'm still seeing stuff. And there's one more thing that I have been just kind of going through and seeing what happens. But remember when I told you I was having that really bad, intense itching in kind of all the places where our lymphatic gates tend to drain?
Yeah.
Well, I ended up having like this mark on my hip, and then it turned to what looked like a pimple, and then it turned into something really big, and then it became very painful, and then it started leaking and oozing. And then about 3 days later, it stopped oozing. There was no scent and everything. And it was probably the size of a quarter. And of course, everybody's like, go to the hospital. And I'm like, nope, must see what happens here. It has completely drained, and I think it's been another 4 days and it's closed up and the redness is all gone and it's all starting to heal. And when I looked into it further, it was just an area that my body decided to have like a release pressure valve or of what I was purging out of my lymphatic system. And when I looked, it is like on one of the lymph flow areas, and it just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was painful, don't get me wrong. But it was also the most coolest thing I got to watch. My body purge something and then heal it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I treated it with Manuka honey and just kept changed and kept hot compresses on it. And it has completely healed.
Fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, there are people who said they had tumors coming out that way. Just somewhere, in the skin, on the breast. It's interesting how that all works. When I mentioned that if we would, I was actually joking, if we would speak out that we heal in 3 months, if it would really happen then. And because the body can do unexpected and crazy things. I mean, we've all heard about prayer healing. And if a lot of people doing that, what effect it has. But that was not what the topic was today. I decided on a kind of a heavy topic, the four eliminative systems, and I put it all in a PDF, so I will share it. And I think going back to what we have been talking about in the past, we did talk about the topics, the separate topics of the four eliminative systems. But this is more, call it condensed. And I do believe when we start on this journey, we always have the goal of healing. But the more you know about how your body works, the easier it is. Because I often hear people, they have a certain issue and don't understand how it works. And that means it is much harder to stick with, all the advice that we give or how we have been healing. than when you just blindly follow something. And I know out of experience with myself and with others, if you follow different people who contradict each other, you're not going to do anything at all. So it's like we do our best to explain it so you can experience it. And Gary and Sarah are very good about that. I will pull up the file so we can share that. I think you can see it here. I made it larger. Did you get the file that I sent you, Sarah?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I can, like, this is large. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. I don't know if it's visible when you're on a phone.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
well.
not really, not from my eyes anyway. I guess,
Turn your phone sideways.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but if he turns his phone sideways, then we probably see him
It should be about
sideways.
this. Yeah, it'll be the same, but he won't be sideways either. The camera will just orient for him.
All right. Well, let me read this. The immune and lymphatic system work together, offering your body both protection and elimination. The lymphatic system acts as your septic system. Dr. Morse always calls it the sewer system.
Mhm.
Cells eat and excrete as you do. The blood carries nutrition, energy, and fuel to the cells. Your lymphatic system removes the byproducts and wastes caused from metabolizing these nutrients and fuels. Low blood pressure, lack of exercise, impacted bowels, congested kidneys, and skin will cause the lymphatic system to back up. Overconsumption of complex proteins and mucus-forming foods will also overburden the lymphatic system. So in the description there of the video, there is a link to the mucus-less foods, and please, download it, print it out, and learn it so that you know what kind of food will overburden the lymphatic system. And that's when that happens, and it stagnates, you get all these symptoms. The lymph fluid carries a host of substances that need to be removed from the cells, including excess proteins, fats, glucose, hormones, parasites, chemicals, minerals, immune cells, unhealthy cells, etc. Your lymph fluids move via pressure changes reflected to the vascular system, contraction of skeletal muscles, and contraction of smooth muscles. Lymphatic congestion leads to a heavy immune burden and response and cellular auto-intoxication, leading to cellular hypoactivity, weakness, and eventually cellular death. Keeping your spleen healthy helps to keep your immune, lymphatic, and blood systems healthy. And when one of the things I was just reading is this is again where the correct breathing comes into place to also help this. The intestinal system is part of your elimination system. The average colon is from 5 to 6 feet long. Mucus from the lymphatic system is dumped into the colon. The colon has mucus secreting glands in the submucosa to assist in proper elimination. So you always need to make sure that you can eliminate and don't have constipation. There are no digestive enzymes secreted from the colon. However, some digestion takes place due to bacteria. Your food particles and byproducts from the stomach and small intestines are mixed together in the colon. Most of the water is reabsorbed, so that a solid mass is formed for elimination from the body. The colon has an electrical relationship to all of the other tissues of the body. That's interesting. I try to make a picture in my mind how that works. The kidneys are part of the elimination system. They form urine from blood plasma. They play a major role in the regulation of your blood. They help to eliminate your metabolic and toxic wastes. The kidneys are sensitive to over-acidic foods. That's why Dr. Morse always talks about getting your kidneys to filter adequately. I cannot say to just filter your kidneys because kidneys are always filtering, but are they filtering adequately? Now we get to Sarah, I need you here. Number 3, can you pronounce that word?
I'm sorry, my phone takes forever to undo.
Oh, okay.
Integumentary?
Integumentary. I had never heard the word.
Integumentary.
Now I know it is the body's outer layer, and
Because tegaderm, like the tegaderm tape. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but have you ever heard that word that it was used for it?
I have not, but I know what tegaderm is. Again,
Well,
vocabulary
no.
is not my
Yeah,
strong suit.
yeah, well, I just never came across it, and now I know it's the outside package. It's your body's outer layer. It consists of your skin, hair, nails, and glands, and works with other systems to keep in your body to keep it in balance. The skin is the largest organ of the body and also part of the elimination system. We even call it the third kidney. The skin eliminates as much bodily waste as your kidneys on a daily basis. Isn't that amazing? Always clean out the liver and the kidneys to clean out the skin. The skin has many functions, including regulating your body temperature. And I found this image and I thought that was pretty neat. Especially the one with the finger, what is all around it. It's just not, yeah. The way that they can make these images and we look at our skin, we don't see what is underneath and how important it all is. So guys, if you want to jump in and make a comment about anything.
Well, I don't know if that's part of the fascia system or not, because the fascia goes around everything like a web, right? So I was just trying to enlarge it here. Because we've always been taught that it was a thyroid that controls our temperature. So if it's the skin or the skin and the thyroid work together to control our temperature, that would make sense. I mean, we sweat through it. We close ourselves off when we're cold, until we get something warm or we're inside where it's warm. But I always thought that was the effect of the exterior world on our skin. But it does affect it because the sun is the other half of our lymphatic system. That's why we sweat when we're out in the sun, or, when we're doing exercise, but that's going through the skin to the outside. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had it happen, I think twice, since I started this whole journey, that I was so cold and it was warm, it was hot outside, and had a temperature of 78 in the house. It didn't matter what I was wearing or under blankets, I was cold, and I was cold from the inside. And that was definitely my thyroid being off. And a little 2 days taking a little dose flakes,
Mm-hmm.
and it got back in balance.
Mm-hmm. And what's in dulse flakes?
Iodine.
And isn't there salt in there too?
Yeah, it would have some salt. I mean, it definitely has a salty taste.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the iodine or is it the salt?
Well, the salt is generating energy, and the iodine is going in to protect the thyroid, which is what they're taking out of our food now. They're
The
taking
iodine?
iodine out of, yeah, they're taking, because you just put iodine in stuff. It's still in table salt, but you don't want to be having table salt. But dulse is a really good way to get some good salt. Himalayan, Celtic, I think it's called Blue Baja salt. Those are all real good because salt helps the adrenals. It brings the body into a powerful state. And we are a sodium-based battery. And what they're doing with the iodine by taking it out, they've created a synthetic iodine that's radioactive. And they inject that into you, and it goes into every cell in the body. And if you have iodine in your thyroid or in your body already, the synthetic iodine can't get in because it's radioactive. So they're starting to take it out of everything. And the reason they're doing that is to do an MRI, they inject you with radioactive iodine. And that's what this is, the radiation in every cell. When the MRI goes around, it gives you that 3D image. Well, it's reading the radiation. And there's a whole bunch of rules that go with once you have that. You know, you can't really be in contact with other people. There's no hugging. There's no lovemaking. There's no nothing because you're radioactive. And we've had people in past groups that were in constant pain 24 hours a day from that shot. And we haven't been in contact with that person for years now, but every day we were trying to keep them from committing suicide. They were in so much pain. So you have to be really careful what you're doing and what the white coats are telling you. Because, you know, and then there's a thing called cellular amnesia. And that's what I've been really thinking about lately. So cellular amnesia is or think of it this way. It's like brain fog for your cell, every cell in your body. Because we've forgotten. We've spent so much time looking outside for cures and whatever's going on that internally we're not connected to our body anymore. Matter of fact, the Hopis was talking about this yesterday. This rock from hundreds of years ago, they carved into the side of it in a straight line, humanity moving along. And this is the world where it's dividing right now. I talked about that the other day, that the world is splitting. Well, on this timeline that the Hopis did, the people whose heads are still connected to the body are moving through that timeline. And there's another line that goes up. And the higher up it goes, the further away the head gets from the body because there's too much head and they're not connected to their body anymore. That's how the world's splitting right now. There's people that are so lost and so drugged and have such low energy that their cells have slipped into cellular amnesia, and it's like brain fog for every cell. The chaos, the fear, all this stuff, all generates that. And until you get your body back online and get your lymphatic system eliminating properly, you're going to have a lot of issues. And they're not disease, they're dis-ease in the body because they're frequencies. It's like resistance. So when you have a dimmer switch on your wall and there's a light, when you turn that switch, the light is either going to go brighter or dimmer until it goes out. Well, that's your body. That's the resistance that we carry within our body. That dimmer switch either lessens resistance so more energy can get through, like a gate. And when you turn it the other way, it causes more resistance and the light gets dimmer and dimmer. Well, that's your body. And the dimmer switch is your breath, your hydration, your oxygen, your movement, your rest, all these things, your story. I mean, you start to create a bad story about what's happening to you in your life, it will drain your energy. It's that dimmer switch. It's turning down and down and down because you don't think there's a way out. Well, once you start detoxing and then you develop a detox lifestyle, so every meal, and we don't need 3 meals a day. That was Rockefeller that did that because they don't want us. I can't say they don't want us to be healthy. The system doesn't want us to be healthy because the more unhealthy we are, the more money they make. So if we ate 1 meal or maybe 2 meals a day and cut that other one out and put in some live liquids of that, our cells, that amnesia in the cells and in the mind, will start to become empowered and you have more and more energy and the weight will start to drop off and the brain fog will go away and the system will correct itself, and that's what it wants. The reason it can't correct itself is we're listening to the people that profit from our dis-ease. But disease is an illusion. They're just frequencies. That's all they are. It doesn't matter, divine energy is at the top, let's say, and as it lowers, it doesn't mean you have, but you'd be susceptible to things like cold and flu and 5 months. Yeah. So anyway, Hashimoto's and Parkinson's and MS and cancer, these are all frequencies. And all I did was give them a name so we wouldn't realize they're a frequency. And they're all created in the lymphatic system, and they're all created through lack of hydration, nutrition, oxygen, proper movement, and rest, and having a great story and grounding to the earth. We do those things, our body doesn't have a choice. It'll correct itself because we weren't doing it. That's how it fell out of the energetic level. So our breath is huge, and it's 70% of our detox. It's through our breath. So when we learn to breathe properly, we're going to regenerate our body on a cellular level and get it out of amnesia where it can't figure out what to do. The cells are kind of lost. They don't know how to perform. And every one of them has a little tiny brain in there. And that mitochondria, when it gets weak, because that's what we're feeding. And that's what water follows salt. So as it goes down, and if there's any mucus around that cell causing malabsorption, it'll start to break that up. And as it goes into the cell, it sterilizes the inside of the cell. And there's already old salt in there with toxic waste inside the cell. It sends out into the interstitial pathway. And then the lymphatic system comes along and picks it up and takes it to the channels of elimination. Okay, I'll stop right there.
Well, actually, Gary, we just need to keep you talking. We don't even need, all this write-ups and PDFs. We just have you talking.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank you very much. But yeah, just think of life as a dimmer switch. Your body is a sodium battery. It's a salt battery. And to increase the energy, we need a small amount of salt in our diet. There's a Soleil water, SOLA. And you take a jar, like maybe a pint jar, quart jar. You put like 4 teaspoons of Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, whatever salt you have, that's real salt. You put that in there, you fill it with water, and you shake it, and you set it overnight, and you take a teaspoon of that and put it in your 32-ounce mix of Master Cleanse, and you have the perfect solution for your body as far as that salt is concerned. because it can only hold so much. I think it's 26%. And you don't shake it again, and you don't pour it in, you spoon it out, because the salt has settled to the bottom of the jar. So the water, like the ocean, right? It can only hold so much salt. So when you put that, you put 4 teaspoons in a gallon, and that solution will completely change your whole life. It has minerals, it has energy, it has everything the body needs to recharge and regenerate it. Just like any battery, it has to rest and it has to be charged. Well, rest is usually a charge, but if we're not sleeping all night because the body's low on oxygen, sleeping is a low oxygen event. And if you go to bed and you're already low on oxygen, your cells, you're going to wake up around 1, 2, 3 in the morning because you're suffocating. Your cells are suffocating. They're waking you up so that you'll breathe. And this is what sleep apnea is. It's just low energy. And you're not breathing. So a CPAP machine, that's what that CPAP machine is doing. It's forcing air in. And you got this mask on your face. All you have to do is learn how to breathe and how to hydrate and do all those other things, the nutrition, the whole thing. And your body will regenerate itself. It doesn't have a choice. That's how it degenerated, because you wasn't doing those things. Okay, I'll end there.
Well, I have a question now because, and we even did a podcast about it, I think about 2 years ago, about how toxic salt is. And that salt, it doesn't matter where it comes from, Himalayan or Celtic or Baja, it's been said inorganic minerals, and it is toxic.
Uh-huh.
So what do we do with that information?
You throw it away. You cannot live without salt. You cannot live without salt.
Huh.
Think of cows out in the field. I used to go out and lick the salt blocks out there with the cows. So why do they have salt licks out there in the field for cows? Because they have to have salt.
But isn't the salt also in the minerals in, you have it in certain vegetables and, the dulse and the kelp.
Yeah. You can get it that way. You can get it through the kelp. But again, you're talking about in the ocean, and I don't know how clean the oceans are. I don't think they're as dirty as they were being told. But you put somebody on a salt-free diet that has heart issues, and they may maintain, but they will not heal. So, and that's what the whole medical system is about, is maintaining. They're not about fixing anything. It may appear to be fixed, but if they cut something out, then they're putting a more resistance in the whole system, because the body is one big system and it all has to work together. So when they go in, they cut something out, well, that takes a link out of that chain. And, and think of it this way. You get dehydrated, okay? What's the first thing they do when they take you to the hospital? As a matter of fact, on the way, they give you a saline solution, which has 9,000 milligrams of salt in it, or sodium. And if you have heart trouble, you know what they give you then? They give you 2 bags. That's 18,000 milligrams of salt. So what they're telling us and what they're actually doing is 2 different things. And table salt is one of the worst things you could put in your body. It's been stripped of everything. That's why you want real salt. And the minerals, like as far as your vegetables and stuff go, there's really not anything left in the soil. It's been so depleted. And you get 3 minerals, NPK, Well, we need 90. We need minerals and we need vitamins and we need proper hydration and nutrition. And if we don't pay attention to those things, like we've been talking lately about the Heart Attack Grill in Vegas. They have one meal there that's 40,000 calories. And if you can't eat it all, when you order it, if you can't eat it all, they bend you over a thing and they paddle you with they spank you with one of those paddles like they use or used to use in college during initiation. And they're not kind about it either. So calorie is a unit of energy. And if you're burning 2,000 calories a day, let's say, and you're eating 4,000 calories a day, well, it has to do something with the rest of that. And the body doesn't know when it's going to get fed again because of primal things. So it stores it. And it stores it as fat. So when you think about 40,000 calories in one meal, well, where's that going to go? And their mascot, if you want to call it that, the guy weighed, I think, 457 pounds. And he would eat there all the time. Well, he died. Well, I had him cremated and the ashes are on the counter in the restaurant. And they had another guy, big guy, come in. That guy died. I believe his ashes are there too.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's crazy.
they've trained us to overeat on everything. And there are such delicious things that you can have. Last night we had it was a mixed fruit ice cream, but we made it. All right. Amy made it and we ate it. Let's put it that way. And it was absolutely delicious. And the calorie count in that is almost zero. So that's what we've been doing. We've been watching our calories. And I've gone from was headed towards a 40 waist. Now we're a 24. And we're eating all the time. And that's what the detox lifestyle is about. Detox in the beginning, go through, and then you start learning how to eat all these low calorie meals. And you will lose weight because I think it's 2,000 or 2,500 calories for me a day. Well, as long as I'm under that, I'm going to lose weight. And if you really start to investigate, I mean, we have delicious meals. Some are cooked, some are raw. But as long as I don't go to that 2,500 or 2,400 or whatever it is calories, if I'm under that, I'm in a deficit and my body's going to shed weight. Because as long as I'm burning that much, I'm going having 2,000, I'm only burning 1,000 calories a day. But your breath work burns calories. It's the engine of your body. And you want to get that in there and you want to really start focusing on how your body's reacting to your food.
And Gary, can you touch on too, which I mean, I found this to be so important with the breath work, is that that is the only way that we can move our lymphatic system in our core area. There's no pump, there's no nothing that automatically does it. And if we're not deep breathing and using our abdominal muscles and our diaphragm, that lymph is not being pumped the way it should be.
Right. It has 3 manual pumps. The diaphragm, which many believe is what actually pumps the blood, not the heart. The heart is what pushes it through, but the real pump is the diaphragm. And the balls of the feet. That's why walking is so good for you, because you're usually breathing through your nose. And you're pumping the balls of the feet, which is moving the lymph and the blood. And as you're walking too, your second heart is right at the top of your calf muscles. So they're pushing blood through, you're pushing lymph through, you're bringing in breath, you're usually in a relaxed state, not always, but usually. And even when you start walking, even if you're not in a relaxed state, you're going to start to calm down, because that's what walking and all these different things, that's what it's actually doing, is it's helping your body find its balance, find its core, and relax. So all these things, like the person we were working with, they had a really, really tight body. I mean, it was overheating all the time. And we touched on that some earlier, Sarah did, and that was excellent. So this is like between 60 and 70 days, we've been detoxing, doing the detox lifestyle. So once we cleaned the body, they ate peanut butter and their throat closed. Now, they've been eating peanut butter all along and not even aware that that was happening. So once you clean your system, then you just start slowly introducing things into your body. If you have a reaction, you know that that's what did it. So this person's body was really tight. I mean, like muscles were almost like cables. They were so tight. And I was working on them, and I happened to, because I've been working on these muscles for a while, and I was working on them, and I said, feel that muscle. I mean, it was so relaxed. It was incredible. And we weren't trying to make it relaxed. It was just relaxed from the detox. And there was something else. What was the other one that, coconut water. He had his throat start to close from coconut water.
Oh, geez. Do you know what kind of coconut water it was? Because the kind that I will have occasionally, I mean maybe once, twice a month, is it's called Taste Nirvana, and it's supposed to be as close to pure as we can get out of a glass jar.
Right. Well, it depends on the individual.
Okay.
On whether it's going to affect them or not. Like, some people can eat seafood and some people can't. Well, some people can drink coconut water and some people have a reaction to it. And in this case, it was closing their throat, the peanut butter and the coconut water. So,
wow. Yeah, I definitely don't touch peanut butter, because my whole goal is to just be as pure and clean as possible, and at the same exact time allow my body to begin getting what it needs.
yeah.
So when you mention stuff like that, then it makes me think, is the coconut water? But I've also been told too that if we have meat, it's coconut meat is what our meat is supposed to be, if anything. But I don't know, because that's pretty fatty, right?
Yeah, and the whole thing is, if you're counting calories, right? And you're below, if you're in the deficit of your daily allowance, your body's going to pretty much handle everything unless you have a reaction to it, like your throat closing or an ache,
right,
or and allergies. All an allergy is a buildup in the body from toxins.
Yep.
And then when you eat it again, you have a reaction because you've gone over the limit of what the body can actually hold, because it's holding that because it can't eliminate it. So there are ways
Very
around that too, through detox. And
yeah. I was gonna say I don't count calories because I never reach that anyway if I'm just on fruit, so I don't
Right.
even worry about it. But the one like the family talk about is they're all about the calories, and they still eat, like meat and stuff like that. But the Caesar salad is only 300 grams of 300 calories, but the sauce dressing has 35 grams of fat for a little itty bitty tiny cup.
Mm-hmm.
Is under. But look at your fat intake. Your gram fat, and then what you're gonna have for the 30 gram fat.
Well, isn't
is
fruit brown because it's fat? I mean, bananas
fat.
are thin, but that's true. I mean, there's no fat in fruit. Not that I know of. You know, and everybody's afraid of the sugar. Well, that's live sugar. That's what we need for our body to function properly. So, yeah, I the lifestyle is figuring out. You have to be an explorer and be willing to do a detox. Because this is the problem I see with most people. They do a 10-day cleanse and they go back to the diet that made them sick. Well, this is beyond the detox. The lifestyle is beyond it. And you start exploring and experimenting with your food and your diet, and you understand the calories, you understand the that most of the condiments are where you get in trouble, like your salad dressings, and they're all high fructose corn syrup and barbecue sauce and all the stuff. I mean, there's a massive amount of calories in those things, and just being aware of that and choosing something like a balsamic vinegar, some type, and a lot of people don't want vinegar. So, you know, either that or just eat your salad raw. You know, put a little clean water on it when you wash it, and maybe a little salt, real salt, not table salt. And you'll get energy, you'll get minerals, you get hydration. I mean, it's crazy cool what's going on there. But the body loves it. Okay.
Gary, I would like some more clarity about how much salt to use. Because when we, at first, with the master cleanse, we talked about a pinch of salt
Right.
in 1 liter of lemon water. If you drink 4 liters of that master cleanse, then you get about a teaspoon of salt in, and I feel that's way too much. How much would it be what you say you need in a day?
I think, well, so when I say a pinch, because I have people ask me this all the time, and they really push me on it, and I'm going, okay, 18 grains of salt. And they go, well, do I have to count it out? No, a pinch, think of it as a small amount, because you're going to be replenishing that when you're doing a cleanse with a master cleanse. You're going to be replenishing that every day, you know. And if you can undersalt, which is what most people are suffering from right now, you can oversalt. So you have to listen to your body.
Mm.
And maybe do, let's say you do, let me see. So you can have 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons a day when you're doing the cleanse. Only put salt in let's say 64 ounces. You're doing 32 ounces at a time. You're sipping it all day long. You only put salt in 2 of the 32-ounce jugs, and then the other 2 you don't put any in. I mean,
Right. Yeah, that's
this
what
is an exploration, right? We're exploring.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes the symptoms are not that clear if you need more or less.
Oh, you get too much salt, you'll know.
Okay.
You'll be very jittery. Your whole nervous system will start shaking.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because you can get jittery when your blood pressure is high or your blood sugar is high.
Yeah.
I personally don't take in salt unless I feel like I need it. or if I'm sweating a lot or stuff like that. And then I have the Redmond's mineral salt, which I
Yep.
do want to look into that blue salt also, but I just take a few, like a tiny little pinch if I feel like I need it, and I put it under my tongue. I can also add it to my water, but I don't like to really drink salt water, and I would rather just put it under my tongue and take it as I need it.
No, you
And
don't. You don't taste it.
Yeah, you
no,
don't
you
taste
don't.
it at all.
No. If I put too much, I do. But just a few under the tongue, and supposedly that's the quickest way to get in. But I haven't felt that I needed salt. But again, this is my body, my journey, what I've
Right.
experienced. Um, but yeah, definitely when you had too much salt, I mean, like my cheeks would get red and all kinds of stuff. Oh, you want to know the other thing too? My heart rate is like 48 now.
Uh-huh.
Like my resting heart rate is like, it was freaking people out. They're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, my blood doesn't have to pump through all that stuff anymore. And I mean, it's just amazing what fruit does. And yeah, and my blood pressure is like low, but healthy. Like my mom said today, she's like, you run circles around people even half your age. I was like, I'm just loaded. And it's been like this for months now.
Yeah.
And I sleep great. So it's not like I'm like out of whack. I feel like I feel this is the way that you're supposed to feel.
Are you already feeling like you're on a cloud?
Oh yeah. And like I
You-
barely feel my body anymore too. It's
That was what Dr. Morse once said. If you're really healthy and clean, you don't feel your body anymore.
no. And I swear to you, a big part a lot of people leave out is you did touch on this, and it is prayer. And it's not like, you sit down and claps your hands on your knee and, go into prayer hands on your knees. I mean, it's just literally making the connection with whatever you choose to call God and calling him in, and you're being fed your daily bread that way. Like it's just amazing how much you are fed through that. And it's funny when people say, well, what do you do when you're hungry? I said, I go outside in the sun and I talk to God, and then I'm full, and like I breathe air, like literally eat air. And then they think you're crazy, but that's the part you're missing. You're missing the grounding, you're missing the talk with God, you're missing the sun. All of that plays such a huge part in it, and quieting your mind. Most people can't even sit by themselves. I mean,
Oh.
learn to love yourself literally. And that
Yeah.
it all plays such a huge part in, because 90% of all of this is mental. I mean, it might be 98%. And if you can get over that, the feel of you need, you're going to do just fine. So a lot of it's mental. So find your meditation, find your breath, get out in the sun, talk to God, talk to the trees. I mean, hug them. It all
That's
plays
right.
a part.
And wake those cells up.
Yes.
No more cell amnesia.
Yep. And I swear to you, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. And you're right. When your body is uh in balance, you can't feel it.
Mhm.
There's no inflammation, there's no pain, there's no anything. It's just there, and it will perform as you ask it to perform, because it doesn't have to push through things. It doesn't have all that lymphatic congestion and that pain and the dis-ease. I mean, it's absolutely amazing to find your balance.
Yep. It is. And I mean, I do not lie. And so I can tell you, like, I cannot lie. Like, if somebody says, do I look okay? I'm like, well, maybe you could change something, but like your outfit or something, but like, I won't lie is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Um, and I promise you, like, you just feel better. You really do.
And it's getting through the mental addictions and the chemical addictions to the food that makes detox so difficult for a lot of people.
It really does.
Yeah. And the cold and flu like symptoms, if they happen to get any of those, that's why I like to start people out slow. Uh, the ones who are in trouble, even, Dr. Morse talks about this too, but the ones who are in trouble, they don't have a choice. They have to
Yep.
do a 10 or a 30-day cleanse, or they have to do something because you got to shock the body back into existence, really, because it's starting to fail. And that failure is electrical. And what are fruits, berries, melons? They're electrical. What are veggies? They're a lower level, but they're still they're still electrical. So through our diet and through our breath, that's how we keep our power up. That's how we keep our balance, our focus. So what do they not teach us? How to breathe, how to hydrate. They want us running marathons every single day and doing all these extreme sport things, and we're burning more energy than we're generating. And then you add a bad diet in with that, and eventually your body's just not going to be able to perform the way it's supposed to. And it is literally that simple.
Yeah, we
So,
usually start to take action when we are in trouble,
yes,
and not really before that.
yep,
Now we see younger and younger people are in the same trouble that before the more older people were. And yeah, if I see what kind of performance is expected from teenagers with sports and schools and what they are teaching, but people are waking up. And it doesn't matter what age you are to before you start to heal. I've known of people in their 90s who started to detox and start feeling better. So yeah. Um, we're already over an hour in, and we have the respiratory system, and I think we talked about that quite often already, how important it is.
mhm.
But it's interesting. They say here, well, this is the part that everyone knows, that the system is in charge of providing the body with its main source of energy, oxygen. The respiratory system helps to regulate the acid-base balance in the body and eliminates carbon dioxide. The system brings hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen into the body. These elements are life's most basic foods. Your lungs are both a digesting and eliminative organ. The belly breaths, the deep breathing. Now, would you say, because there are so many different ways of doing these breaths, and there's even a high-ticket course about correct breathing. Would you say we will be well off with what you have been teaching, like 4 counts in, hold 4, 6 counts out, hold 4, and repeat, and do that 10 times in a row, 3, 4 times a day? That is what we talked about 2 weeks ago, I think. Would you say that is sufficient?
There are different breaths for different activities in the body. That is sufficient as far as like calming the body down, lowering cortisol, um, just to help you calm your mind from the chaos. Then there are other breaths that speed us up, like breath of fire. Breath of fire is in and out through the nose. And the thing about the breath of fire, it can help reduce anxiety, a lot of stress, because you're working the body even though you're sitting still. You're using your belly, and you take a deep breath. And when you blow out through your nose, the lungs will automatically refill. That's why you start with a full breath. And you're pumping your belly. When you breathe in, your belly goes out. And when you exhale, okay, your belly goes in. It's like a really quick, almost like flexing your arm, or you're flexing your stomach muscles. And We usually do 10 slow, 10 fast, 10 slow. And you don't have to breathe back in. Your lungs will automatically fill. So that would be a good pace. And we do, well, I do 30 to 40 of those. And then I inhale and hold. I exhale and hold. Then I do 30 or 40. And you can do that. We usually do 4 to 5 rounds, but you can go up to 9. I mean, you can go up to as many as you want, but you want to be sitting down when you do it. And you do not want to be driving. You don't want to be in the water. You don't want to be riding a bicycle because you can get lightheaded. And this is the whole nervous system starting to awaken. It's bringing the cells back to life and getting rid of that cellular amnesia. But you really want to be in a place. You don't want to be standing either. You want to either sit down or lay down when you do it. Sitting is preferred. You can do it with your legs folded, or you can sit in a chair. So if you do relax to a point, because it will help you relax. You can just sit back in the chair. You want to be sitting up so that your lungs are off the back of the chair, because your lungs are more towards your back. And to get a full breath, you should be sitting up straight and your back not touching anything. This is why people fall asleep in a chair at night watching television, because their lungs are pressed against the back of the chair. They're relaxed. It's usually warm. And this is why commercials are louder, like really loud. They're trying to wake you up so that you'll hear the commercial. And I'm sure if any of you watch television, I'm an internet guy, and I watch health videos. That's about all I watch. TV, movies, I can't stand them. And they're all just cultural programming. They're programming you. There used to be this show, and I never watched it, but the people told me that, oh my God, they loved it so much. There was a red button, and there'd be an earthquake or something, or I can't remember exactly how it worked, but they had to run over and push that button. And that's just programming. That's like Pavlov's dog, right? Every time the bell rings, they start to drool because it's associated with their lunch, with their meal. Well, there wasn't any meal. They would just ring the bell and the dogs would start to salivate, whether there was food or not. And I was going to mention too, when I said most people can't be alone, and Sarah said that, they did a survey and it was 100 people. And they said, what would you rather have? Would you rather sit in this chair and have an electrical shock, or be alone for 15 minutes in that room over there? Over half of them picked the electrical shock because they didn't know what they'd do if they were alone for 15 minutes. They'd go crazy. Well, these are things that we need to understand and work beyond, because if you can't be alone with yourself, then there's really something wrong with what's going on in your life. And that's all just part of programming. It's all cultural programming. So if you're a type of rather get an electrical shock rather than sit alone for 15 minutes, try being alone for 5 and then work your way up to 10 and then up to 15. And then, uh, people like that pin their dreams in somebody else's pocket. And when that person runs away with their dream, they collapse because they don't know what to do. They need somebody to tell them what to do. Doesn't mean they'll do it, but that's what they need. And usually that's your doctor, your lawyer, your government, your state, you know. And we get lost in that. And we can't even make up our own mind and trust our own decision. And that's something we really need to work on. And as you learn to breathe and hydrate and oxygenate the cells, that will all clear itself up. Go for walks if you can. Ground to the earth. And if you can't, you're in a place where you can't go outside and ground, they have grounding mats and grounding pillows and grounding sheets and grounding shoes. And so that during your regular things during the day, you're grounded. And the other thing about a grounding mat is if you put it in front of your phone or your computer, see, we work on a wave. It's a frequency that's a wave. And what the cell phones and your computers and everything work on, they're a pulse. And it's like 1 billion times a second. And it's tapping your body. And you can't feel it, but your body does. And it starts to affect how your body processes and how it moves through life, because it can cause a lot of EMF issues, electromagnetic field. When you're grounded, it's like grounding your house. If lightning hits the house, which is a jolt, a pulse, right? It goes over the house and into the ground. Well, when you're grounded in front of a computer, those pulses come in and they travel over the body and right into that mat, right out into the earth, right out into the ground. And that's what you want. That's what will protect you from an electromagnetic field. And they have a thing called a Faraday cage, where you build a metal cage over your bed when you sleep at night, and the EMFs cannot get through. The electromagnetic fields, the pulsations can't get through because they're everywhere. I mean, they are energy, and you can't stop it. The only way to stop it is like a Faraday cage or grounding to the earth, or so those things will help you calm down. They'll eliminate stress. They'll help pull the body back into balance. So that's kind of where I'll leave it right there. I don't know where we're at for time, but
Yeah, we have 1:13 right now, 1 o'clock, 13 minutes. I think we're gonna leave it at this. We can always talk about this stuff next time
oh yeah,
and see, we always end up in a certain direction, but always with information that is so important. And we don't want to make it too difficult because it's actually easy and simple. Simple is what it is, but getting there, it's a tough road.
it can
And
be. Yeah.
yeah, we recognize, acknowledge that, and but it is part of loving yourself, doing it, and it doesn't have to go fast. And it is a journey. You cannot go back to what you were doing before because then you get into the same trouble, health-wise. And enjoy. I mean, laughter. We never really talk about that, but how important laughter is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to be in a relationship where we do have a lot of laughter. And it's, even if you smile at a complete stranger in the street, it will change their day. So it's also part of your happiness. And with happiness in your life, it's easier to heal. You have less stress, lower cortisol, because high cortisol is a big issue. And I wasn't even aware of it until I had it myself after a period of stress. Now I know how it feels. So it's all these little things. And Sarah, you're such an amazing example of living your life and how everything has been changing for you. And I always love to hear about that. You
Do it.
know,
Bye.
yeah, without going into the extremes, because some people say, yeah, but how you eat is so extreme. It's like, yeah,
Yes.
compare to, well, actually, if I look, but certain people are eating, that's extreme to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yep, I agree with that. And my neighbor just stopped by and she was asking me a question, and it turns out her mother is starting chemo. She started today. And so I was like, oh, okay. But we're gonna talk later. What were you asking me to talk about it, or were you just saying
No,
something I
I
missed
was
that?
just saying about how wonderful your journey is, how we love about hearing about it.
Thank you.
And the way you talk about it, it's not as if it is an extreme lifestyle.
Mm-mm.
And I think that is important for people to see, to know.
Yeah. And I get asked all the time too, am I going to maintain this level of what I am doing? And right now, the answer is yes, I am. But again, I'm going to use the word like hyper aware. Like I'm very hyper aware of my body. And even though, like, I say that I cannot, like I feel my body. Obviously, you're going to feel it, but you don't feel it because there is no like, oh, that doesn't hurt. There's no headache. There's no nothing. It's just flowing. But like if my stomach gurgles, like I can feel it. I can hear it. When I had that thing on my hip, I was very aware of it and watching it like a hawk. So I'm hyper aware of what is going on with my body. Like I'm watching my hair, I'm watching my eyes, my fingernails, I watch my skin, so it's not like I'm just out here winging. I mean, I kind of am winging it because I'm just taking it day by day, but you know what I mean? Like I'm doing it with absolute 100% awareness. And I have resources like Toni, I have Gary, I have, all of the videos from Dr. Morse and whatnot. So I can always ask questions if I have question, but so far it's been great. And I didn't get to chime in because I think I was in a bad area, but that time when you were talking about how Dr. Morse sometimes works with people, and I'm sure you guys do too, that are very sick. And I know we've talked about this before. And you do have to go on these extreme, like, nope, just instantly change everything in your life. That is very hard. You're breaking all kinds of patterns and things like that too. Whereas that's why we always say it's best just to start now. And even if you start with just having fruit for breakfast, you're going to see a change in your life. And then after that, change your lunch and then work on to changing your dinner. And my body at this time does not do very well on vegetables. I think it's just too rough for just being on fruit for this long, but it does not mean that vegetables do not play a role in our bodies, and it does not mean that I will not have them in the future. It's just when that time comes, when I feel it's ready, I'm going to ease into stuff, and then just see how my body responds to it and go from there. But I'm definitely hydrated. I'm watching stuff. So if like that lady we talked about a couple weeks ago that passed away in Thailand, we don't know, but I really think that mental health plays a huge role in this too. And a lot of people just need to get on board with that mental health and work on that, because when you find God or whatever you want to call him and you love yourself, something else opens up within you that allows this to flow a little bit easier.
Yeah, when you mention people who have to go into the extreme because of their health, and they find, and it is difficult, but you know what? Going through chemo is more difficult.
And the result is not always what you want.
Well, it never,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think ever is.
Yeah. Chemo brain and, just putting acids into your body. They're working in the kitchen and the problem's in the bathroom. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
It's in the plumbing.
uh,
And your hair falls out. It's not,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this without any kind of knowledge of this whatsoever, but I believe that your hair falls out because it's not so much of the medicine, the chemo, it is because your body has gone into absolute mode of trying to save its internal organs and save itself, that your hair is basically tossed to the back burner. It doesn't do anything to hold on to your hair or anything like that anymore. And it is literally in full-blown survival mode. And people are like, well, the chemo makes it fall out. Your body quits hanging on to it because it's literally fighting for its life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
Mhm.
know, and to take, I mean, I kind of get why they're doing it. They're trying, well, they won't even talk about the lymphatic system. So I don't know if that's what they're doing or not. But putting the lymphatic's job is to keep the blood alkaline. And if they shoot acid, which is insane amount of acid, into your blood, they're looking for the lymphatic system to kick in to clean that. Well, the problem is the lymphatic system's already so compromised that it can't keep the blood clean. And so by acidifying the blood, it can't really kick the lymphatic system in because it's already compromised. It's kind of like, well, I have a plug in this line, right? You got a tube here and there's a plug in it, and you put more stuff in to plug it, thinking that it's going to clean it out. Well, it's not going to clean it out. You have to get into the lymphatic system where all inflammation, all pain, all dis-ease in the body exists. And when you clean it out, it all goes away. And if it's a tumor is called lymphoma. Well, it's because it's in the lymph, it's not in the blood. And those are the things that we have to at least try to remember and work on. And that's what fruits, berries, melons, vegetables, uh, any type of liquid that has minerals and a little bit of life in it is going to go in and it's going to start working on that congestion and cleaning it out. How fast it goes is really important because that's what causes cold and flu-like symptoms, is the body eliminating more toxins than the body is faster than the body's able to eliminate them. So then they start building up. So that's why sometimes if you're just doing a detox, go into it slowly. Do 32 ounces of master cleanse or whatever it is you're doing for a week. And if you feel okay, increase it to 64 for a week. And during that, you skip a meal. And then as your body is cleaning itself out, you can go deeper and deeper into the detox. And the pathways are starting to open, the lymphatic pathways, so that it can eliminate the toxins. And your body will heal, and there won't be a lot of pain, sometimes no pain at all associated with it. So it's just the most important thing is to start. Whether you're doing 32 ounces of master cleanse or grapes or grape juice, or as long as it's live grape juice. Uh, these are the important things, is just starting. And if you can only do a day, rather than say, I'm going to do 10 days, and in the first day you can't make it, don't beat yourself up for not making it. Celebrate the fact that you did a whole day and go back to eating for a while and then try it again and just keep going and keep trying and keep exploring and experimenting with your body and how it feels. And eventually it will clean itself out. But if you have issues, like some serious issues, you have to do it now. And you're either going to work through all the discomfort, all the cold and flu-like symptoms, or you're going to stop. And it's okay to stop, but get back on it as soon as you can. But if you're in serious trouble, you really don't have much choice. You have to get into it and go for it.
And
Because
have fun with it. You can.
Yeah, you can.
Sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself, with things that are happening and listen to your body. And then, when needed, talk to someone. You can talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the options to connect with us. It's all in the description of the video. So we are here to help you. Okay, guys, I have to go. And thank you for being here and
Absolutely.
enlightening us with all your knowledge.
And thank you.
It is extremely appreciated and I know by whoever listens to us. So thank you again. Much love to everyone.
Toni, I want to say
Yeah.
one more thing about what you just said real quick is even though like if people don't listen to us right now, what I was told too is we are planting seeds and sometimes those seeds don't even take root in this life, but that person may carry it even into their next life. Or they may repeat something to somebody else and it might go out. So it doesn't matter when they listen to us as long as they hear us eventually.
I know. I have seen the changes with a friend of mine who was, not open to it at all. And over the years, I see all the changes that she made, and that's pretty amazing.
And all we are meant to do is serve and give without expecting in return, and then we'll see great rewards.
Sounds good. The more you
Thank
give, the more
you.
you get back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Toni.
Thank
Till
you.
the next
Love
Thank you.
y'all. Miss you, Katie.
Love you.
Yeah, we miss Katie.
Miss you, Katie. Yeah.
Yeah, she was sad she couldn't be here today. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, love
Till
you
the
all.
next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Love you. Bye.